Okay, Daily Coaching Accountability Partners, David Halpern of Mastery Consulting, and this is a juicy video. This is the topic of sales technique, but this is an overview. Sales Technique 101, not from a salesperson's perspective, mind you, but from a business owner's perspective. I've got 10 rules that I want to share with you about sales technique. Number one, it's not about technique. It's about understanding the sales process and the sales funnel. Okay, what do I mean by that? I've seen people in the last couple of years walking around in circles practicing scripts. Holy moly, I've never seen anything as dumb in my life. If you want to build a business, you practice on clients for Pete's sakes, and you get better because of your work ethic and your cabeza. You figure it out as you go along by learning what works and what doesn't work. Okay? It's not about rule number one about building a spectacular sales funnel with a spectacular sales result in your businesses. It is not about the technique. Don't get me wrong. If you improve your language skills and your close rate goes up from 25 to 35%, great. Out of 100 appointments, you just did 10 more deals. But the truth of the matter is you can increase it by sheer force of volume, which we're going to get to in just a minute. So number one, it is not about the technique. It is about understanding the funnel. Number two, it's not so much quality as it is about quantity. Brian Tracy used to say, if you want to double your sales, simply double the number of sales appointments you go on. I couldn't agree with him more. Literally, if you double the number of sales appointments you go on, you're going to more than double your sales just because you're going to figure out what works and doesn't work in the process. It's that simple, but you're not focusing on that. You're focusing on all this other stuff that other people talk to you about. Number two, it's not so much about quality as it is about quantity. Don't get me wrong, the quality will improve your results, but the quantity will improve it more. Rule number three, it's all about the appointments. You know, when we were building this coaching business or practice, and I decided, you know what, I like this retail coaching thing we're doing here together, right? The first thing I did was set up a target for 4 face-to-face appointments with potential new clients every week. That was the game. And we did that game for 30 months. And we worked it hard, like keeping the popcorn bag in the popcorn popper, if you will, right? And we ended up successfully having, on average, 5.5 face-to-face appointments per week over a 30-month period. And by the way, we're still living off of the results from those 30 months, which are well past now. The popcorn's still popping from all of that heating, if you will, right? The game is about appointments. If there is one thing I could wish for everybody that's watching this video, it's that on an ongoing basis, you be obsessed daily about attending appointments with potential new clients. Because when you do that, you're going to understand rule number 4, which is to stop over-glorifying the sales process. The purpose of a lead is nothing more than appointment. So when people say, what are your lead channels and what are your lead sources? I don't even care so much. I care that you're so over-focused on appointments that you don't care where they come from. You're trying to make them happen all over the place because you're obsessively trying to get in front of enough people to present your product or service. That's number 4 is don't over-glorify the lead. Glorify the appointment, if anything. Number 5, the 5-minute rule. When new leads come in, if you get to that new lead within 5 minutes, your ultimate close rate is 800% higher. It is 8 times higher. Does everybody understand this has nothing to do with technique? This is sheer condensing of time frames. The faster you get to a new lead, the far more likely they are to transact with you later, because if they see that you're on it from the beginning, they're going to assume you're on it all the way through the process. Now, certain clients of mine have visited Loan Depot in Michigan, and Loan Depot was teaching at their offices that they're trying to reduce their lead rate from 8 seconds, their response rate from 8 seconds to 4 seconds. Because if it's 8 seconds, it deteriorates their funnel by 70%. Here we are with companies talking about getting to 4 seconds lead time. And we're talking about the 5-minute rule. I'm starting to feel like a dinosaur here. The point being, lesson number 5, if you will, is speed is crucial to getting to new leads. In the old days, if you had a referral, you didn't even have to be in a rush to get there. But even today, because there's so much information online and so much possibility of finding other people, even a referral is something you can't take lightly and you got to get to them quickly. Number 6, with a new lead, talk less and book the appointment. I've seen people on phone calls where it sounds like they're giving their whole sales presentation on the phone. You ain't closing anybody on the phone. Nobody's signing an agreement or to do anything with you on that phone call initially. Usually it takes multiple touches, okay? So the whole point of the phone call is just to take a lead and convert them to an appointment, because your objective is appointments. Flood the funnel with appointments and your business will grow. Does that make sense? Don't talk your way out of an appointment by sharing everything. Don't be rude and impolite and get off the phone so quickly. But all you want to say is, that's a great question. By the way, I'll share that with you when we get together. Oh, that's an excellent question. That's something I'll give you some options on when we have a chance to meet. I look forward to it. Okay. Rule number 7 is the 48-hour rule. You always book an appointment within 48 hours of the phone call. Why? Because the show-up rate is greater than 80%. In other words, the no-show or cancel rate is less than 20%. If you book an appointment for a week or more out, the cancel rate is greater than 50%. You may as well just take a wad of $100 bills and set it on fire. That's what you're doing. You're setting your money on fire. So when you get a new lead and you're having that conversation, the only purpose of that conversation is to book a face-to-face appointment. And it depends on your industry. For some of you, it's not face-to-face. And for some of you, it's remote. So it might be a Skype or a phone appointment or whatever within 48 hours because of the show-up rate. Again, you don't have to be better at sales technique. You have to be better at understanding the sales process. Number 8, condensed time frames. What does this mean? Since 90% of sales occur on the 4th through 12th contact, it's not just that the fortune's in the follow-up, the whole enchilada's in the follow-up. So here's a little, you've seen this on other videos possibly that we've shared. What you want to do is condense time frames. You talk to them, you book an appointment within 48 hours, and you want that appointment ideally to be the 4th or even 5th contact already. So when you're on the phone, that's one contact, obviously, right? You might want to send them a video by text, right after you get off the phone. That's a 45-second video of you introducing yourself and sharing a little bit about yourself personally and professionally, just as an intro. That could be another touch. You could also have someone deliver a gift for you to that potential client. Could be even a Starbucks $10 gift card, even if they're remotely around the country, and say, hey, please enjoy this on me. I very much look forward to serving your interests and to discussing or meeting with you, day after tomorrow. That's another touch with the law of reciprocity. Condensed time frames means have multiple touches. Try to make the appointment the 4th or 5th touch even, and watch what happens to your close rate, even if you don't do anything differently. Okay, next one, number 9, stop pre-qualifying, at least until your funnel's flooded. Every appointment's a good appointment. Here's an example for you. Through my brother-in-law, I met a bunch of people in the real estate industry, one of whom was Mauricio Sanchez. Mauricio talked to me about private coaching. Mauricio's in this program, by the way. Talked to me about private coaching, and at the time said, let's hold off at that very time. Later on, he was actually even still doing stuff with us today. Mauricio's become a good friend. Mauricio came back to me and said, hey, by the way, I have a friend, Juan Risi. Juan's interested potentially in coaching. I meet with Juan. Juan chooses not to do it at that time. Calls back, and he and his wife are both dear friends. His wife, Janine, is in this program now as well with us. Oh, by the way, Juan introduces me to his branch manager, Nick. Nick hires me for private coaching, introduces me to a chain of RE/MAX offices that hire me for coaching. And even today, I'm still in 3 of those offices a number of years later. There's a silly expression, please forgive the expression. I don't mean this on anyone, but every dud knows a stud, which means every person, whether or not they choose to do anything with you in the moment, they know 200 people you don't know. If you're ruling out appointments, you're saying, it's like you pray to the good Lord for leads in business, and then you walk away from it when it happens. Go on every appointment until your funnel's flooded. Qualify nobody. Oh my goodness, I know people when your funnel is flooded and you can't breathe and you have no time you have to cherry pick appointments, then it's different. Then you do what business owners do. You say this appointment and this appointment, I'll give it to you and I'll take my percentage on this one, because that's what business owners do. So number 9 is stop pre-qualifying. Flood the funnel with appointments, because it's every dud knows a stutter. Every prospect leads to a network of people, and some of them come back to you. And lastly, number 10, flooding the funnel is really more of a mindset than it is a marketing technique. What I mean by that is when you think of flooding the funnel, and it's embraced by your thinking. What you're thinking is, I just want to pile as many appointments as humanly possible, and I don't care which ones transact with me now or later, or if I lose track of it and it's total chaos. Flooding the funnel is far more of a mindset than it is a marketing strategy. So this was a little bit of an overview, 10 bullet point principles on sales technique without technique. I hope this was super impactful for you. My question for you today is, of all those 10, which one caught your attention the most that might impact your behavior on a go-forward basis?